We welcome you inside the North Gwinnett Gymnasium. I am Joel Hillsman, joined by the coach, Lewis Preston, and Sly, the sports guy, Sylvester Williams, SUV TV. Coach, I'm going to throw it to you first. Miller Grove and Shiloh, two teams known for talent. Sluggish start so far this season.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting for Shiloh coming off of that loss against Sandy Creek on Saturday, how they bounce back here. Miller Grove was in a little bit of a dogfight where you look at it on paper that it was, you would have thought it would have been a little bit further than what it was. So to be curious to see how Coach Chester and Coach Rivers comes out and coach these guys early on.
Sly, your thoughts so far going into this game?
Well, you know, I saw Miller Grove here on Saturday night. Miller Grove played a tough one against our Mountain View, and the game was a lot closer than a lot of people thought. But it's like they had, like I like to say, Joel, I've been saying it, early season basketball, a lot of jitters, a lot of turnovers. You know, you hate to say rebuilding for a program like Miller Grove who just reloads. But this will be very interesting. This is a great litmus test to see where Miller Grove is going to be this year.
We'll see how it goes for the Miller Grove Wolverines and the Shiloh Generals here. The SUV TV coverage of the 9th annual Jared Cook Classic. The Atlanta Tip-Off Club annually recognizes the top high school and college players, coaches, officials, and administrators in Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia. Join the ATOC, nominate players and coaches, or learn more at atltipoffclub.com. Joel Hilson alongside Sylvester Williams and the coach Lewis Preston. And just to piggyback a little bit on you, Sly, I've seen both of Shiloh's games this year, and we saw the victory over Kip. Not taking anything away from Kip, they're not on that level. They're talented, but not on Shiloh's level. The Sandy Creek game, the way it unfolded, and Coach Preston, you were there, that third quarter, they just could not get anything clicking. And it's not like Sandy Creek was just dominating them, and Sandy Creek's a talented team, but the way the game unfolded left you just kind of scratching your head.
Well, what it left me scratching my head about was very plain and simple. Sandy Creek just made simple basketball plays. So to be curious to see if Shiloh is going to make this game hard on themselves and just get back to the way that they're used to playing general basketball.
We're ready for the tip. Miller Grove is a visitor. Shiloh is a home team. The visitors will go out in the purple. It'll be number 1, Maurice Harvey. Number 2, Timothy Starjo Jr., who, coincidentally played at Shiloh. Number 4, Lorenzo Anderson. Number 14, Jaburn Clark. And number 22, Kevin Page. Miller Grove wins the tip. And it'll be Shiloh out there with Darius Garcia, Tania Lane, Elias King, Edward Francois, and Kendall Lewis. Tenary Lane, impressed with him. Clark spins. Shot is up, no good. Page, offensive rebound, up, no. He's trying to get another rebound. His back tap coming right to our producer, and a great catch. Out of bounds, and it will go over to Shiloh. They'll be in possession for the first time.
Even the crowd's got to have hands, Joel. Crowd's got to have hands.
It's the expensive seats, man.
Protect the equipment, rule number 1.
We gonna get Miss Lisa, though. She gonna give a nice chest pass, bounce pass, or something for this season over with. I feel it, especially when you're courtside. Ball poked away, good defense by Tim Stargell Jr. There's a Shiloh fan that has a sign that if we get a shot of it, we'll need to do it. There's a drive, offensive foul. Kendall Lewis hit with his first, team first.
Joel, the parent back there has that sign that says it's personal.
It's personal.
It's going to be interesting to see how personal it gets up in here.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I might need to take my sweat off before it's over with.
It might get heated in here. Here's T.J. Stargell there. He spins it over to Anderson. Anderson now going to feed it into Page. Page put it on the floor, spins, turns, and the jumper goes off the side of the backboard. No good. Garcia with it in transition. Garcia using acceleration, long striding steps, layup. Good. Darius Garcia with the hoop to crack the seal on this one. 2-0, a minute gone by. Harvey spun and lost it. He stepped out of bounds.
Once again, these teams are getting up and down the floor, speed on speed. So can you be fast but be in control? That's going to be very important for both teams tonight.
Playing under control, playing like your experienced team with an experienced veteran outlook on the game.
Garcia now spins it to the right side. Holding it is Lewis. Lewis pins it to the top. Francois over to Garcia. Now he kicks it back around, and they'll take it back. Lane gives it back out. Lane now holds it. Lane, a solid sophomore on a cut. The Lewis layup, good. That's the way you work your offense there, Coach.
Wow, that's a great 2-3 set right there. Reminded me a lot of Coach Pitino at Louisville. Guys cutting off, got that easy layup.
TJ now holds it. Head coach Kim Rivers of the Shiloh Generals, and of course Rasul Chester in his second year at Miller Grove. Clark back to Page. Page hands it off to Maurice Harvey. I just personally expect more from Page and Clark than I've seen in their last 3 or 4 ball games, even dating back to the playoffs last year. Anderson with the floater, good.
But once again, just like Sly said, it's early season basketball, so everybody gets in a rhythm at a different time. So as coaches, you got to be patient with it, but you also got to be ready to challenge them as well.
I believe in that theorem of creating competition, and sometimes you can use early season basketball to create some competition. Lane puts it on the floor, 2 boom dribbles, goes up with the right hand, no good. Page gets the rebound, here comes Stargell Jr. Stargell leading the break, Stargell gonna go, put it up off the window, no, followed by Page, is good. Offensive rebound and put back Kevin Page.
And that's what you need out of Page right there. You need Page dominating the boards. That's 3 rebounds already, and 2 of them have been offensive boards.
First of all, you know, being a former big man myself, you got to reward them when they're running down the floor.
Yes,
so
sir.
he did a great job of getting the rebound and putting his head, running right down to the middle of the rim, offensive rebound, stick back.
And, Coach, you are a true big man. You're going to love this with Sly because he thinks he's a big man.
I am a big man, Coach. I'm the most dominant 5'11" power forward to ever play the game, Coach.
Sometimes it's about the size of the heart, not the size of the body. You know what I'm saying?
That was said, well spoken by the greatest coach in the world over here.
Oh, boy.
Anderson is going to go, and I think he stepped on the end line. He did. Shiloh coming in at 1-1. Miller Grove coming in at 1-1. Miller Grove, of course, last season, the first year without Sharman White. They lost in the 5A semifinals to the Cedar Shoals Jaguars, who we'll see next year. But the last time they did not go, or the last time they went back-to-back years without a state championship, 2007 and 2008, the school was 3 and 4 years old. There's a long 3. Good. He bottomed it out. Nope, it's a long 2 for Elias King. And there's a steal. Garcia now gives it over to Francois. Francois now to Neal. Neal pulls the jumper, Lane, and it's no good. Lane, the 6'5" sophomore, and he's going to ride all the way. Anderson tried to dunk that thing home. It's recovered by Francois. Francois gets it up ahead. Ball is getting sloppy now. TJ with the steal. Stargell hesitates, gives it off to Harvey. Harvey goes up, gets the foul from Garcia.
Wow, it's amazing. There's a track meet out here with a basketball. So it's interesting, getting a little careless early on, but the one thing is they're looking to get that ball in the paint and attack the rim.
And that's what I love. I love to see teams attack the basket instead of try to bail out and settle out for those 3-pointers when they don't have it. You know, I was always taught it's easier to shoot the ball if it's closer to the rim than farther away.
Well, it's evident you're not part of that Golden State philosophy there.
No. You know, we were talking, me and Joe were talking a little bit earlier about the big man, the loss of the big man, and all it takes is one. You just need one more big man. Oh, my goodness, just not paying attention at all.
Shooter got his own rebound. Harvey split the free throws, and Anderson gives him the lead with a little short corner boat floating jump.
Fellas, that's the reason why coaches have gray hair when they don't take and box out at the free throw line. Gave up 3 points right there.
There's a jumper by Elias King. Elias King, 6'7" junior, brings a little national experience back to the Georgia area. Spent his sophomore season there in West Virginia at Huntington Prep. Here's Anderson, stops, he feeds the post now, back to the basket. Clark spins, turns, knocked away out of bounds. Will stay with the Wolverines. And now checking into the contest, Truett Spencer. And Truett Spencer also has his brother Justin Spencer here, but he's got an older brother that you probably know, Coach, that played pretty well at Parkview, and Delano Spencer.
Yeah. One of the things when you look at Elias King spending that time at Huntington Prep, sometimes it's always good to come back home.
Oh, yeah.
Get back to familiar surroundings and get more comfortable with your game.
Here's Harvey. Harvey goes around to Stargell. Stargell fell down, so Anderson is going to go, but he stepped out of bounds.
You know, it's interesting you're talking about coming home. He came home. He played. We carried a couple of Huntington Prep games on SUV TV last year, and I got to see him on that loaded Huntington Prep team, and he was getting quality minutes. As a matter of fact, he started 2 of the games at Flying to the Hoop in Ohio.
Okay.
Very impressive young guy.
Off the screen, a 3-ball, stripped the nets. Elias King.
I tell you one thing, he has one pretty stroke.
Oh, yes.
Quick release, too.
Couple college coaches up in the stands right now. I know they got their notebooks out.
24 points in the loss on Saturday. Sandy Creek. Clark underneath. It's no good. Rebound now to McLeod. McLeod coming in off of the bench. Got to like his game. He's been around. Shamari McLeod, 6'6", and a senior. And out of bounds off of Miller Grove.
You get in a situation like this with King with the last 2 shots he's not down. You want to give him that heat check shot, maybe have him come off a stagger or something like that. Especially at 6'7", sloppy on the inbound.
Harvey gonna try to take it. Euro stepped around him and scored. A nice move, Maurice Harvey in transition.
Nice finish right there.
11-9, Shiloh with a 2-point lead. 2:35 to go, first quarter. McLeod on the drive. McLeod used the body, now spins it off, and a late foul called on Clark.
You know what I don't like? This is the second time that lazy basketball has cost Shiloh 2 points. You know, that inbounds pass was just lazy basketball.
Justin Spencer checks in, and he will come in for Truett Spencer. And evidently, Coach Kim Rivers didn't like something there with the laziness there, as you mentioned.
You can't be lazy on this court tonight. You're going to be exposed.
Very much so. 11-9, 2.5 to go. Shiloh with the lead. They're in white. Miller Grove, and another turnover. That one ripped out of the air like a defensive lineman, a linebacker, a cornerback. That shot up, no good by Harvey. Rebounding to Spencer. Spencer up to McLeod. McLeod shoves it off to King. King gonna come down the lane, put it up off the window and score. I thought he was gonna cock that back though. I
thought the Miller Grove player was gonna step in and take a charge.
13-9. Into the corner, Harvey back out to Stargell. Stargell, 2 hard dribbles, now floated it in there. Ball knocked away. King recovers it. It's a turnover for Miller Grove. Gets it over to Spencer. Spencer up ahead to McLeod. McLeod corrals it in. They'll need to slow it down under 2. 1:57 to go. Bounces it down low. It's on the floor. Francois turns up, off. No good. Got his own rebound. Put it on the floor. Spin, pump fake. Gives it out to McLeod. He'll get a 3-second or a travel. A traveling violation.
I don't know how you saw all that traveling with all that traffic in there.
I'm telling you.
A lot of traffic. Looked like 285. Terrence Edwards now will check in for Miller Grove, along with Justice King. King, a 6'4" senior. Edwards, a 6'4" sophomore. Coach Chester, second year, was on the Miller Grove staff previously, then left and took the middle school head coaching job at Stevenson. When this door opened up, he came flying back through it.
That's a great opportunity there to get your feet wet at the middle school level, to get some kinks out, to work on them. It's always hard to follow a legend.
Very much so. We'll see that in our nightcap with Wheeler and Coach Thompson trying to follow Coach Lipscomb. There's a long 3, front iron, no. Rebound, King just too long, just all that long length. Snatched the board down, gets it up ahead to Garcia. Garcia now, pass was behind his man, and a turnover now as Jimmy Price could not corral it. Here comes Lorenzo Anderson. Anderson now to Harvey. Harvey spins it to Anderson. He's trapped over there in the corner. He puts it on the floor, and they'll peel it back out with Harvey with under a minute to go, 56 seconds.
One of the good things Harvey did right there, he faked the pass before he made the pass.
And then got the reward with rattling home that 3 ball. And you mentioned that the other night, Coach. I take it you're a big fan of that.
That's coaching one-on-one in my book. Got to be able to be a good passing team if you want to be a championship team.
I love the pass. Now there's a drive up. Anderson, offensive foul.
Yes, sir.
Lorenzo Anderson.
Foul. You know, he came in there. One thing I love about taking the charge is not only the fact you sacrifice yourself for the team, it shows you're a thinker because you have to anticipate where that guy's going so you can get your feet set and establish position. So it shows you're not only selfless, you're a pretty smart guy, too, to figure this stuff out.
I think that's very important when you start to look at high school teams. When they're able to get back in transition D and they're willing to sacrifice their body, you know, we always talk about great teams, talk about we as opposed to me. And that's always a common bond with championship teams.
Eric Kinloch, a 5'10" senior, in for the final half minute. Garcia picks it up, now gives it to Lewis. Anderson tried to come in and get the steal. Good hustle right here in front of us.
Kind of waiting for Anderson to kind of get off. Anderson had 19 points on Saturday night. He's still kind of holding the throttle down so far in this first quarter.
4 points in this first quarter, 13-12. Shiloh holding a 1-point lead. Garcia will go out, and Truett Spencer will check in. Get it in now to Reed. Reed now to Spencer for the final 18. Spencer one way and the other with the dribble. Passes, almost got the pass stolen out of his passing lane. Lewis, the Price. Price has dropped 2 passes. Get it up ahead now. Here's Anderson. Anderson going all the way. Shot up knowing he was fouled by Jimmy Price. It has not been a good stretch the last 2 or 3 minutes here for Coach for Jimmy Price.
Well, right now, if you're really watching Miller Grove defensively, they're doing a great job of overplaying the passing lanes. You just got to cut back door and get some space in there. You know, if you get that backdoor pass one time for an easy layup, they'll try to stay ball you man and stay between them and the basket.
Lorenzo Anderson at the free throw line. Stat Row. View youth sports highlights whenever, wherever. Stat Row, your source for youth sports highlights. First free throw, no good by Lorenzo Anderson. 2 and 8 seconds to go. 13-12, so Anderson still with an opportunity here to try and tie the game. Goes through his free throw routine, sticks it up and in good. So he split them, and we're even at 13. And here comes Spencer. Spencer now doesn't see the clock and will not get a shot off. So we've got a quarter in the books, and we're tied at 13 between Miller Grove and Shiloh. First quarter thoughts, Coach.
Really fast pace, got up and down the floor, sloppy. It's probably more turnovers than points right now. But one of the things, looking at both of these teams, whomever is able to take better advantage in the half court is going to get the advantage in this game overall.
Looking to get a new basketball, tennis, or multi-purpose court? CBA Sports can help as your sports construction specialist for both commercial and residential projects. Visit cbasports.com and contact us to discuss your next indoor or outdoor project. So quickly look at Elias King with a team-high 9 points for Shiloh, 2 from Garcia, and 2 from Kendall Lewis. For Miller Grove, 6 points Maurice Harvey, 5 for Lorenzo Anderson, and 2 from Kevin Page. We're even at 13, and Miller Grove struggling at the free throw line so far, 2 of 4 through a quarter. Shiloh yet to have an attempt.
Joel, I'm looking to see how Shiloh is going to take and get King more opportunities, which can help to possibly get some other players easier opportunities as well, although he's sitting on the bench to start the second quarter.
It'll be McLeod, Truett Spencer, Eric Kinloch, Toneri Lane, and Kendall Lewis, the 5 on the floor for Shiloh. They are in the white with the black numbers and the silver trim. Miller Grove will come out with Clark, Page, Harvey, Anderson, and Stargell Jr. And now they come out in a zone defense, a 2-3. Going to see if Shiloh's got the shooters to bust it open. Spencer on the left wing, bounces it back over to Kinloch. Kinloch to Lewis. And now he gives it to McLeod, who was coming back door. Shot no good. Lane up on the rebound and glass. Offensive rebound and put back to Toneri Lane. He was surprisingly quiet in that first quarter. His first field goal.
You know what? I think this could be a great learning lesson for Toneri Lane because he's playing against some big bodies in there with Clark and Page. They're 2 real big guys, and that young sophomore has to go and body those guys up.
Great opportunity for him.
Stargell has it. He's worked on by Spencer. Goes around the Clark screen. Now gives it out to Clark. Clark rolling to the basket. Beautiful execution of the pick and roll. Jermaine Clark is in the book. 15 all. Across the lane. Lane passes it to Lewis. Lewis to Spencer. Spencer hadn't got his feet wet yet. Almost got a steal. Had to hustle down for it and now stepped out of bounds. Not really playing well so far, Truett Spencer, the 6-foot junior. A transfer over from Parkview.
It's very interesting right now. Miller Grove is starting that second quarter out in that 2-3 zone, but it's an active 2-3 zone, and it's really sped up Shiloh to take some shots that they're not accustomed to. Miller Grove's got to be able to put their bodies on them and finish off by getting the rebound.
And, Coach, we saw Gainesville come out with the zone, and quickly Norcross shot the ball effectively where eventually you had to come out of it. I call it zone busters. I don't think that Shiloh and Sly, you chime in on this because this isn't your first time seeing them this season. I don't think they have the shooters.
No, they don't have the shooters, and especially when you compare it to the shooters of Norcross, they have a team full of zone busters. But Shiloh has a gritty, has a tough type of attack the basket. They get a lot of physical second chance points to score, but they don't have that shooter who can just go up there and just bury that outside shot. I think we got some blood on the floor over there, giving it all up.
Yep, infection control right now.
Once again, I think it's going to be very important if Miller Grove does stay in this zone that they've got to be able to block out and rebound. once that shot goes up, you got to go find a body. You can't turn around and just think the ball's going to come to you. That's where Shiloh's length could be very good for them.
And that's where I put the onus on Kevin Page and Jermon Clark. They're the biggest bodies. Swallow up and get the rebounds.
Easier said than done, Joel. Easier said than
Understood,
done.
but that's a lot of size, Coach, especially with Page.
But that's why I got gray hair.
Page has 5 boards, though, to start it off so far.
Harvey to Anderson. Catch, fire, a 3. No. Clark tried to get the board. Tip, follow. When you got your guard, Stargell coming in there getting the boards. That's what I'm saying. Out of bounds, it'll go over to Shiloh.
See, I don't think that's Anderson's game right there, shooting that 3. He had 19 last Saturday night, but they were all 2-pointers. There were a lot of breakaways, a lot of attacking the basket. Not one 3-pointer on Saturday night.
Kendall Lewis pump fakes and goes baseline. There's the activity of the zone. Kinloch, a 3. All right. Eric Kinloch off the bench and into the scorebook. Busts it open with a 3, 18-15.
Once again, it'll be interesting to see if Miller Grove stays in the zone because as coaches, we get a little itchy when you give up an open 3.
Clark spins it to Stargell, coming up on 6 minutes. Stargell dribbles to the wing, a jumper, no good. Rebound, McLeod could not get it cleanly out of bounds off of his backside, and it'll stay with Miller Grove.
Yeah, he was just up a little bit too high. When he came down, he just couldn't find the right spot to land, and he just threw the ball out of bounds.
Shiloh, a victory over Kip and a defeat over Sandy Creek. And this is their 3rd game of the year. They're 1-1. Miller Grove also 1-1. A turnover for Miller Grove. Here's Garcia. Just over 2 minutes gone by. Second quarter, 18-15. Shiloh with the lead. Garcia driving and expands on it with a layup. And now his first field goal of this second quarter. It's 20-15.
It's very interesting watching Garcia. He's continuing off of what he did on Saturday night. Does a great job of penetrating and getting into the lane, and he makes some very tough finishes for them.
Anderson, elbow jumper, no good. Page swallows up the offensive rebound, puts down a power dribble. Kinloch took it away, and then McLeod took it away. The dribble hurt him, Coach.
Once again, post player 101, 2 feet in the paint, and you're near the rim. You just need to power up. Last but not least, the refs 9 times out of 10 are going to give you that call, but once you put it on the floor, you go from 6'8" to 5'8". I don't feel sorry for you.
Not at all. Beautiful thing. Once you have, like you say, once you have it down that low, keep the ball up high. It makes no sense to bring it down where you have all these midget guards down there to take it right from you.
With that size, I wouldn't even shot fake. I just power them and see if I can bring the whole rim down.
Mm-hmm.
And me being a guard or any guard that's a competitive, once that ball come below the waist, I'm coming to get it. A long air ball 3 by McLeod.
And he yanked him out. Oh, man. Coach Rivers said, get out. I mean, he threw that big thumb up there and said, get out. And he's giving him an earful over there on the sideline after shooting that air ball.
I think he was hoping that the quick thumb would have gave a little bit more air so that ball could at least hit the rim.
Off the glass, there's Anderson. Lorenzo Anderson with 7 in the contest. Miller Grove trailing by 3. Kendall Lewis coming back this way. Lewis off the window. No. They tip, fight for it, and Lewis comes away with it. Offensive rebound again. Stargell in there ripping with the young hands and comes out to Anderson. Anderson of Miller Grove brings it across the timeline between the legs on the right side. Back to Stargell. Stargell swings it to Harvey. Open, a long 3. Kaboom.
Beautiful. Beautiful shot by Harvey.
Once again, though, great ball movement by Miller Grove right there, making that extra pass, getting a wide open shot.
4:15 to go, even at 20. Feed it in the lane across to Kinloch. He's going to pull a 3. It was bothered and a foul called on Maurice Harvey, contesting the 3, and a foul will be called in Kinloch. Eric Kinloch will be going to the foul line. Second team foul on Harvey. Excuse me, second personal foul on Harvey.
Joel, I'm telling you, you're lucky I'm sitting down right now because I'd be about 7.5 feet. I thought the ref, he was looking at something else.
Anticipating the call. How about that?
How about I get him some glasses for Christmas?
I'm with that, too. First free throw of 3, good. Page will be checking in after this free throw. Kinloch strokes that one in. So Kinloch has came in and been very effective off the bench. Harvey goes out. Page comes in. So it'll be Page, Clark, Stargell, Anderson, and Edwards. Makes all 3 of them 6 points in the contest for Kinloch. All 6 of them here in this second quarter.
Oh, Shiloh goes back to a 2-3 zone right here. Let's see what these big fellas can do.
Goes around the screen.
Here.
Stargell. The Clark short corner jumper, air ball. Lane gets the rebound and gives it to Elias King, who is checked back into the contest. Pass deflected, and King is able to recover it. It'll go out of bounds and stay with Shiloh.
Once again, Joel, when that ball was thrown down to a short corner, that opposite big needs to dive to at least take another defender with him that can open up a cross-court pass for a wide-open jump shot.
Lewis goes baseline, now kicks it back to Lane. Lane recovers, jump stops through the lane, now over to Garcia. Garcia to Kinloch. Kinloch looks, holds, there's a flash by Lane at the foul line. Stop, jumper, hill of the rim, no. Offensive rebound by Lewis. Lewis kicks it back out, 3:27 to go, and Garcia says, let's be easy with it.
Great job right there. Great point guard play, slows it down. Got to look to get a good shot here.
King wanted it, and he's going to get hit with the hook. And that's a hooking foul there where if I'm Elias King, there's no need to hook Anderson. I've already got the size advantage.
Well, first of all, he also had 3 guys that were within 5 feet of him right there. Right there is where you get a nice little simple pivot, kick it out opposite, maybe make that extra pass or lead some penetration to an extra or a better looking shot.
At Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, the sports medicine team doesn't just treat the pain for sports injuries. They work with young athletes to fix the problem and teach them proper sports mechanics. When you choose Children's, you're in the hands of specialists who understand how to help young athletes get back in the game. Visit choa.org/sportsmed to learn more. 23-20, 3:13 to go. Game number 3 of 4 here on the second day of the 9th annual Jared Cook Classic. 21 teams this year, but for the first time, no out-of-state teams.
Yeah, they usually bring a team in from Alabama every year. I did just notice that.
Alabama or South Carolina. And Coach Garner said that they did that on purpose. A jump stop through the lane to Page. He blew the layup. Rebound comes off to Elias King, and he falls out of his stance, but a bit of foul by Kevin Page. I understand the kind of wanted the local dynamic and wanted to showcase the Georgia thing. I get it, but you also, I'm an OSS guy. I'm a national guy. I love Georgia, but I want to see you mix it up and in a little bit. So for whatever reason, they decided to stay away from the national or out-of-state teams this year.
That last time down, Miller Grove with a great play versus zone.
Beautiful.
That's a great finish right there. Good, strong power-up move.
Edward Francois, 6'4", and a senior with the move. Anderson across the lane, tip back in, and I think they'll give that one. I'm going to give it to Kevin Page.
They should be doing that every single time, getting into the paint and getting up on the rim and let those big bodies go get those offensive rebounds.
All of a sudden, the last 2 possessions, one by each team, feels like we've settled in. This late in the quarter, drive, get it out of here. Page with the block. Here comes Edwards in transition, bounces it up ahead. Anderson, a jumper, no, rebound, Kinloch. Kinloch has earned the minutes so far and is still in the contest. Bounces it up ahead to Kendall Lewis. Lewis now gonna go all the way down the lane, drive, got it, blocked. 10 Towers in there swatting it out. And here he comes, Edwards, Euro step, front iron, no. Rebound, they battle on the floor, dives for it, and a jump ball call. The possession arrow will be that of Miller Grove.
How many steps can you take?
1, 2.
There's a lot of traveling going on for the holidays.
I'm telling you.
We're just getting it started early.
It started their break early.
One of the things is you keep looking at these teams getting up and down the floor. You got to also understand certain times to pull up for that short jump shot as opposed to trying to get all the way to the rim. It's going to be very hard with the 2 big fellas from Miller Grove underneath, especially Page right underneath there.
You know, he's a big space eater. He's one of those guys, you just sit up there and just let him stand in space. But I love to see him develop some more of his offensive game, though. You know, he's there, he's getting the rebounds. As a matter of fact, he has 7 rebounds so far in the first half.
One of the things you always got to keep in mind with big men, we take a little bit longer to develop.
Stargell caught the inbound and blew the 3. And now Garcia gets it up ahead to McLeod. McLeod now to Lane. Lane back to the basket, spins it to the top to King. King a 3, rattled it right on down the milk crate. Elias King, a 3 ball, he has 12.
Once again, Joel, where did that ball go? Inside out, step in, nice little 3-point shot right there.
And King, he's not the only one that can score, but he seems the most comfortable in being able to go ahead and take his shot, not lollygagging with the basketball.
Exactly.
And I think what happened that first game of the season, he was a little bit hesitant and didn't kind of show out the way we expected him to show out at McEachin. And I'm not sure about the second game, but now it seems like he's on display.
Send that out of here. A block, Lane up ahead. Garcia on the break, layup, good. Darius Garcia, defense to offense, and now they push the lead out to 8.
Very interesting right now how Shiloh has been able to get, once they got the rebounds, they've been able to get down the floor and get some easy transition baskets. Miller Grove's going to have to talk about that at halftime.
Edwards goes baseline. It was cut off by McLeod. Trying to go inside out. Good pass out. There's a 3. Edwards, no side of the rim. Page gets the offensive rebound. Good hustle and save. Here comes Anderson. Anderson flipped it up right hand. No, it fell off.
I really like the way Anderson can get to the basket and and get a foul so he can get to the line and shoot or get an easy layup. He had 8 free throws, 8 free throw attempts on Saturday night. So that means he's attacking the basket. He's getting there, he's getting in the lane, and he's getting fouled so he can go and shoot those and ones or those 2 shots.
One of the best things on that drive right there, he was actually trying to get Page the ball, but the rotation came down, and he was still able, with his strength and his size, to power up and get the ball to the rim, at least getting to the line to shoot 2.
Connects on the first one.
I'm glad you said something about strength. So, sorry, Joe. Glad you said something about strength because it's often overlooked with these guys. As basketball players, you have to have that upper body strength. You have to have some strength sometimes to power through those hard fouls and get those easy too. You know, these little bean poles, sometimes they can't make it out here in the land of the Giants.
Lane, Garcia, King, Truitt Spencer, and Shamari McLeod, the foul on the floor for the Generals in the final 30 seconds. Edwards, Stargell, Page, Clark, and Anderson for the Miller Grove Wolverines. Miller Grove in the Nike threads. Shiloh in the Jordan brand threads. Into the corner now to Lane. Lane pulls it back out with the left-hand dribble. 15 seconds. He hands it over to Garcia. Garcia now will have it off of the NG North Gwinnett logo as he's worked on by Edwards. They give it out now. And Holden putting it out with 5 seconds. Garcia, nothing going to the hoop at the moment. Spencer's going to have to force it. A 3, no good. Tip, it will not count. Not a good way and a good possession to end the half.
Bad possession. I would have loved to see him set something up so maybe King could come around off a pick and work, either have that jumper off a pick or work with a drive off the pick with about 5 or 4 seconds to go in the half. That was just a bunch of dribbling around, and they end up throwing up a bad shot at the end of the half.
But even with that, they still had an opportunity at the offensive rebound and a stick back. So, once again, there's some adjustments that need to be made by both Coach Rivers and Coach Chester at the half, and I look for them to come out in a much better flow and a much better tempo to start the third quarter.
30-23, Shiloh with the lead on Miller Grove. We're at the half, and Shiloh outscored Miller Grove 17-10 in that second quarter. Stat Row, your source for youth sports highlights. View youth sports highlights whenever. Halftime from the Jarrett Cook Classic.
I'm Sam Crenshaw reminding you about the inaugural Hawks Station Holiday Tip-Off Classic. It comes your way December 21st through 23rd at Norcross High School. Here's what the coaches have to say.
When you put those 2 names in front of something that it's going to be run first class, the level of competition is going to be very good. Crowds are going to be real good over here. So it's just really exciting for us to be in it and be able to play that first night. In it right here, and so, and for me, an opportunity to come back and coach in this facility again is really special.
what the great ones do when the breaking point comes. Everybody loves the game. When it's tight, when everything's going well, you hitting shots, but it gets to a certain point, where it's the breaking point, meaning at a certain point, somebody is going to retreat and not want it so much, and somebody is going to say, this is why I play the game of basketball. For everybody.
I just love being a leader.
Because I like to punish people.
I think the big thing is just taking the right shot.
Just to embarrass people.
I'm a beast.
Do my thing whenever I'm putting on someone's neck.
My dogs will be the best in 4 years.
We welcome you back inside North Gwinnett High School in the North Gwinnett Gymnasium, Suwanee, Georgia. 30-23. It is Shiloh leading Miller Grove. Joe Hilton along with the coaches Lewis Preston and the sports guy Sylvester Williams. Quickly some numbers. Lorenzo Anderson with 8, Maurice Harvey with 9. They're the leaders for Miller Grove. On the flip side for Shiloh, Elias King has 12. Eric Kinloch with 6 off the bench. Darius Garcia 6 as well. So Kinloch and Garcia out of the guard spot playing pretty well. But coach, 7-point game here. I think Miller Grove has found a little bit more of an offensive flow, although still down low in scoring at 23. They only entered the contest averaging 54 games, although the season is early.
Well, I think one of the most important things for Miller Grove, I think coming out of timeout, Coach Justice ran some great action. They just haven't been able to finish. And if they're able to finish and maybe to make this into one-possession game, I'll be very curious to see how Shiloh can take and adjust to that.
You know, one thing I think me and Coach talked about at halftime was kind of clearing it out a little bit to work for Miller Grove, to work with Page on the inside. You know, run those 4 men around the perimeter and let Page kind of float back and forth on the inside so the big man can have room to work down there.
The second half brought to you by Virtual Property Realty. Per the Atlanta Business Chronicle, Virtual Property Realty has more buy transactions than any other real estate office in the Atlanta area. Visit joshmendoza.virtualpropertyrealties.net to browse listings or add your property to their state-of-the-art search engine. Shiloh in possession. They're in the white. Kendall Lewis, a 3. It's good. So they start out firing bombs. Kendall Lewis, his first 3, he has 5 in the game. And it's a 10-point lead.
Every single time that Shiloh's ran off of that 2-3 cutting action, they've gotten a wide open shot or a wide open layup to the paint.
Feed it down. There's Clark. Clark spins, and a foul will be called. And let's see, they'll call it on the floor to be on Edward Francois, his first, team's first. Page, Clark, Harvey, Stargell, and Anderson, the 5 on the floor to start it for Rasul Chester's Miller Grove Wolverines. They're 1-1 on the season. Lost to Norcross in the Georgia Elite 8 Tip-Off Classic, and then defeated Mountain View 47-45. So Miller Grove, as we like to say, Sly, getting the exposure all 3 games so far right here on VSUVTV.com.
Once again, it's a great job right there what Miller Grove was doing, playing what I like to call cutter's action, always sending somebody into the middle to where they had to pass it off, throws it over the top, Page for the easy 2.
Stargell shot the passing lane and got the steal. Stargell going to lay it up on the right side and score.
That's great anticipation right there.
So quickly they slice the lead down to 6. Garcia into the forecourt. Out to King, and Harvey shot the passing lane. Anderson is able to recover it. Now we saw Miller Grove getting their passes shot in the lane. There's a layup, good by Tim Stargell.
Miller Grove has done a great job of letting their defense create offense for them. And Shiloh right now has got to be much better with the ball. They got to come and meet the pass instead of waiting for the ball to get to them.
Here's Garcia between the rings, and Stargell now all of a sudden turned it on. He was scoreless in that first half. He's got back-to-back layups. Get it into the post, and that'll be a foul coming around on Javon Clark, the 6'5 senior, his second.
See, I like this workup right here. I like the confidence that they have in their young sophomore to kind of clear it out a little bit, run that, I guess, some type of little baseline motion offense or whatever, but clear it out so that sophomore can work inside the paint.
Coach Kim Rivers upset. I talked about the play of Kinloch and Garcia. Garcia, 2 minutes, and he's back on the bench. Kinloch was very effective in that second quarter. They combined for 10 points in the second quarter.
One of the things, the reason why he's got Garcia on that bench is a little bit sloppy with the ball. As a point guard, you got to help control the tempo and help settle your team down. Lane has it on the right wing. Out to the top, and Anderson shot the passing lane again. He's got the steal. He's going on it with King. Layup good. Lorenzo Anderson, and a timeout call by Shiloh. It was a 10-point lead just a minute and a half ago, but all of a sudden it's down to 2. Once again, we talked about this. Miller Grove is absolutely attacking the passing lanes, and they're overplaying the passing lanes. You got to fake a pass and make a pass, get a backdoor cut, and get an easy layup there.
The Atlanta Tip-Off Club annually recognizes the top high school and college players, coaches, officials, and administrators in Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia. Join the ATOC, nominate players and coaches, or learn more at atltipoffclub.com. 33-31, an 8-0 run by Miller Grove. And a lot of it was Tim Stargell and Anderson and Kevin Page, but as you mentioned, passing lanes and cutting them off. And reversely, we saw Shiloh doing that to Miller Grove in the first half.
Exactly. It's almost like they've reversed roles here to start. And it'll be very interesting to see what Coach Rivers has drawn up here. Once again, to get them, try to get them an easy basket. One of the things that we're not seeing here, sometimes team fouls is good offense because it can help to slow down the tempo a little bit better and get you back into your normal flow offensively.
So we'll see, but Miller Grove now going to come and pick up full court now. Francois on the inbound to Kinloch. There's the trap. They get it across to Lewis. Lewis across the timeline, and Stargell took it away from him. He walked out of here. Nobody called it. They try to tip it, dunk in, no good. Basket interference. Man, Kendall Lewis.
You know, as they say, the ball don't lie. They got that one back, huh?
I thought we were watching the movie Space Jam.
Man, I mean, he went from, and the refs are explaining it not to us, but to the crowd. He went from the half-court stripe to the volleyball stripe.
You talking about tipping. I've never seen a tip drill like that.
Wow. To Anderson. Anderson, the Stargell, set it up between the rings, 5:20 to go. Miller Grove down 2 and trying to get to tie it or take the lead with a 3. There's Anderson. There's the 3 ball in the air. No. Skips off the rim. Offensive rebound to Harvey, but his foot was on the line, out of bounds.
I tell you, it's been very interesting watching Shiloh in this 2-3 because they have yet to really do a good job of rebounding out of it.
See, I don't like that shot from Anderson on the outside. Anderson's so good when he penetrates and gets inside the lane. I don't think he's hit a three-pointer all season.
Anderson with the steal. There's the trap at full court pressure. Anderson driving up, flipped it, tried to get the call. He didn't. Lewis is going to get the rebound. Now it's on the ground. Harvey with the steal. Gives it over. Out of bounds. Harvey's shoulder was on the out-of-bounds line, says the lead official.
Once again, I'm not going to knock the hustle because both teams are hustling. But I'm telling you, just very sloppy basketball right now.
Coach, we see Elias King getting ready to check back in. Let's see. I'm going to mark it this time. He's coming in at 4:55. He was down about a minute and a half, and that's when things kind of went left or right.
And one of the things is you got to be able to have that guy who can help to knock down a shot to change your momentum.
Another turnover. Harvey, a jumper. No. Rebound underneath. Loose ball foul on Miller Grove.
You know, anytime you want to go for an offensive rebound, if you're going to push the guy, make sure the referee isn't standing right behind you. And you definitely don't want to push the guy with 2 hands in his back when the referee's standing right behind you.
33-31, 4:45. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm going to save you. I'm trying to save Sly on this one.
2 hands. He pushed him 2 hands in the back with the referee standing right there.
I saw something totally different.
Sly got glasses on, and you didn't see that? Give me that. That was not a push. That was not a push, Sly.
Hey,
that was not a push.
We need that replay. We'll check that one out tomorrow.
we'll go to Mr. Burnett himself afterwards.
Stargell across the timeline. Miller Grove with 4.5 to go, third quarter. Still an opportunity to take the lead. Here's Stargell. They might just want to tie it right now. Edwards high-low, gives it on that side. Page lost it, up and in good. It wasn't high-low. He came from that short corner. Page has tied the game at 33. And now foul in the backcourt. Both crowds now, the Miller Grove and the Shiloh crowd, very vocal.
It's getting personal up in here.
It is personal.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. Shiloh and Miller Grove, Gwinnett and DeKalb counties not far apart. There's Lane. Lane gonna drive off the window. No tip. McLeod right on down the toilet and go. His first field goal is an offensive rebound and putback. Harvey with 4 minutes to go. Halfway gone, third quarter. Joel Hilsman, the coach Lewis Preston, and Sylvester Williams here with you as Anderson is going to drive. Picks it back to Stargell. Stargell, poor one-handed pass. Why'd you do that? Gets it back off the steal, but that doesn't excuse the pass. Page ought to dunk it home and does.
I'm telling you, If Shiloh can take care of the basketball, they've got so many numbered opportunities to take advantage.
King, a corner three, no. Rebound hit the floor. Harvey tips it. Harvey recovers it. Harvey's coming. He's got nothing with him, so he'll peel it back out and set it up with 3:29.
Smart move.
Once again right now, Miller Grove is the much more energetic team on both ends of the floor, and they're being rewarded for it.
Anderson travel, though.
And I'll say that right there, and he was a little too energetic.
Here comes Kendall Lewis back into the game. He takes the spot of Kinloch. Now it looks like Coach Rivers is going to go with a big size advantage here, and Garcia will be the lone true guard size-wise on the floor. Lane has it. Lane now to Elias King, who gets it down low to Kendall Lewis. Lewis lost it, kicks it back to Garcia. Garcia will peel it back out with the right hand. Now he's going to feed it over to McLeod. McLeod goes, uses the body, flipped it up, no, and a foul call. And it'll be on the shot.
I thought on that move right there by McLeod, he could have spun that back to the baseline and got that nice little right-handed layup going to a strong hand. I think he got bailed out a little bit right there.
And then it was the far ref that bailed him out. The ref on the baseline was going to make him pay for it.
I'm going to tell you, I got to stop talking about the referees. I'm going to lose my Thanksgiving dinner over this.
The free throw is good from McLeod. Shamari McLeod with his first free throw attempt. He has 3 points in the game. 2:58, third quarter.
Tell you, it's very interesting right now to see how Shiloh, how they're going to be able to match Miller Grove's intensity on both ends of the floor.
And that's a great point, Coach, because they came out energetic. They've caused a number of turnovers. They're playing with a little faster pace at the moment and just a little bit more bounce in the step.
If you kind of look at them right now, it kind of looks like Shiloh's trying to figure out what they need to do to slow them down. Miller Grove's in that rhythm.
Lane gets the rebound. Now he has it across the timeline. So Neary Lane, oh, the way he dunked it home with the left hand. The Lane opened up, and Lane went down it, and Lane put it down. 38-35.
The left-handed sophomore, man, I love it.
Man, I'm telling you, coaching 201, never supposed to give somebody a wide open lane drive to the basket.
I mean, this seas just parted.
It's early season. I'm going to let that one go for now.
And you can see it. He had the look in his eye right around half court. He knew what he was going to do.
Yeah, once he got it back, yeah. Anderson at the foul line. Hill of the rim, no good on the first attempt. He has struggled from the line a little bit today. He's 2 of 5. Now the referee is forcing Maurice Harvey out of the game, and he's saying for his jersey, and I can attest that is the second time he's told him that in this half. It happened a little earlier, and now the ref can't make you come out.
I'll tell you one thing, there's nothing better than listening to the passion of parents sitting behind us.
I love it. Man, Anderson splits the free throws, and look at that. Miller Grove is down by 2 now, 2:20 to go. 38-36. Garcia, you said it, and the sign said it. It's personal, so that's why it's vocal. There's a long three. King, good. Elias King, a 3 ball.
Once again, King being able to be that difference maker in regards to knocking down that shot. We talked about when he came in the game at 4:55 in the third quarter, right? And they made that run. Now he extends it out to 2 possessions with that 3.
And he has 15 points, his first field goal here in this second half, 41-36. The Atlanta Hawks, Georgia Tech, UGA, Clemson. These are just some of the basketball teams that call a CBA Sports Court their home floor. Contact SUV TV's official sports construction specialist, CBA Sports, to discuss your indoor or outdoor sport court needs. Go to CBAsports.com. 2:02 to go, 41-36. Shiloh with the 5-point lead on Miller Grove.
You know, Joe, you were talking a little bit earlier about the passion of the fans. You know, you always hear all the stories about the helicopter dads and the dads going a little bit crazy in the stands. But that's one of the funny thing I always find about high school basketball as opposed to football is always the moms that go the hardest in the stands.
I love the basketball moms. That's all I'm going to say.
I have no comment.
I love the basketball mom. Ain't nothing like a basketball mom. Because the dad, he more to chill. I'm going to sit back and watch. Unless it's Unc now.
Unless it's uncle.
If it's Unc now Unc going to give it to you. But the mom, they just sit back and, man, there's some fire come out them for 32 minutes.
All I'm going to say to both of y'all, being on that sideline and being the one standing up, taking all the heat from then 18, I'm telling you right now, them mamas, they ain't screaming at their son. They screaming at you.
Jerron Clark, free throw is good, and he makes the second one. So Clark with 4 points in the contest. And Miller Grove is within 3 now. Garcia lost it again. They have just gotten extremely sloppy, and there's a foul call. Maurice Harvey may want to ease up a little bit now with this one.
Once again, Shiloh, knowing that Miller Grove's going to come there with that trap in the coffin corner, as I like to call it, get the opposite guy to come to the middle, and you automatically got a 3-on-2, 2-on-1 situation.
Coach, that's something, though, whether you see the press or not, everyone should have a press break.
Yes.
And you should not be inbounding in the corners.
Well, once again, we were talking about this earlier today. I think these guys need to be able to start practicing earlier than October 30th to put some of these different things in to start the season.
October 30th, and you play your game 2 weeks later. So you want to see maybe
October 15th, like it used to be in college basketball.
15th, yeah.
And then here's the funny thing: you start practice on October 30th. If you have a halfway decent football team, you're still playing. You still got 2 or 3 players not on the roster anyway because of football. So you really need that time to get together and work.
At basketball schools, that's not the problem.
Oh, well, yeah, basketball schools. Hey,
these are 2 basketball schools.
Grayson had a pretty good football player out there on Saturday night.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I think he should play basketball, quite frankly.
Yeah, I would love to see him just concentrate on basketball.
Actually, that's a great time out there by Coach Rivers, because once again, every single time Shiloh's throwing the ball in to the corner, what I like to call the coffin corner right there, Miller Grove is trapped it, and they're not bringing somebody to relieve that pressure right there for them. So he's got to talk about that in the timeout.
A 30-second timeout call with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go. Joel Hilsman, the Coach Lewis Preston, and Slide the Sports guy, Sylvester Williams here with you. The SUV TV coverage of the 9th annual Jared Cook Classic. I don't know how many years has it been, 5 years in a row now? 5 years, 4 years of covering.
Yeah, this is the seventh. This is the 7th year of the tournament, and this is our 4th year.
It's the 9th year of the tournament, the 4th year for SUV TV.
Either way, it's been great coverage across the board.
Yes, it is.
When I was in coaching, I was always looking and finding out and getting stats and everything. So I tip my hat to Marcus Burnett and SUV TV for keeping me on top of the games.
Valuable tool indeed. That's why, I'm not speaking for Sly, but myself, I take it very personal to be able to try and give it to you guys, because sometimes you look down and you make notes. I got to make you look up if it's worth looking up for. Garcia gives it to Elias King. He's worked on by Anderson now. King, one way and the other. Now ball ripped away. Look at Stargell on the break. 1, 2, off the window. Layup drill. All 6 of his points in his quarter have come off thefts.
And it's all been because their defense is creating offense for them.
Garcia down the lane, sidesteps Carmen and scores.
Beautiful body control on that right there, to sidestep around the defender.
You're exactly right. Great body control.
40 seconds. There's Anderson. Anderson backs it back in, and here's T.J. Stargell. Stargell was on this Shiloh team last season and now is at Miller Grove. There's a drive by Anderson. Good no call. Page can't corral a rebound. It goes out of bounds, and it will be Shiloh General basketball.
Once again, right there, Page has an opportunity. I'm old school, big man. You get your fingertips on it, you got to corral it and bring it in.
Quickly coming is Garcia. Layup, no. McLeod couldn't get the tip. And now here's Jalen Stuckey. Stuckey now, right off the football field. Drives, put it up. No, a blocking foul called on Kendall Lewis. And Jalen Stuckey, talking about football, he put that ball down like a running back.
It's amazing right there. He had the angle to get all the way to the basket. Lewis wasn't all the way there. That was definitely a block right there, so I'm going to give the refs props on that.
Free throw, back iron, no good for Jalen Stuckey. 15 and 9, 10 seconds to go. 43-40, Shiloh in the white with the black numbers and the silver trim. in front of Miller Grove, all in purple. Purple tops, purple bottoms, white numbers, and white trim. Splits them for Stuckey. First points of the year for Jalen Stuckey. 2-point game. Garcia had it knocked away by Anderson. Another turnover. Stuckey gives it to Stargell. Stargell holds it, lost it, passed it right back to the wrong player in Garcia. Garcia with 2 seconds, Garcia with 1. He doesn't see the clock. Anderson is everywhere right now. Fly at a picnic.
I'm telling you right now, it is amazing to me how
Kim Rivers can't believe it.
Miller Grove has imposed their will defensively in this third quarter.
Looking, catch, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. Would not have counted. We move to the fourth, 43-41, deep, SUVTV.com, Shiloh in front.
Hi everybody, I'm Sam Crenshaw reminding you about the inaugural Hawks Station Holiday Tip-Off Classic. It comes your way December 21st through 23rd at Norcross High School. Here's what the coaches have to say.
When you put those two names in front of something, it is going to be run first class. The level of competition is going to be very good. Crowds are going to be real good over here. So it's just really exciting for us to be in it and be able to play that first night in it right here. And so, and for me, an opportunity to come back and coach in this facility again is really special.
Back inside North Gwinnett High School, the North Gwinnett Gymnasium in Swanee, Georgia. Joel Hilsman, Sylvester Williams, and Lewis Preston with you. 43-41. Miller Grove trailing Shiloh. They make a good push and outscore them in the third quarter, Coach, 18-13.
It was very plain and simple. Miller Grove's defense got them better looks at the basket. Shiloh's guards right now, especially Garcia, has got to do a great job here in the fourth quarter of getting his team under control if they're going to pull out the victory.
Stargell, Page, Harvey, and Clark, the five on the floor. They're the starters for Miller Grove in purple. Kinloch, Lewis, King, Lane, and McLeod, the five on the floor for the Shiloh Generals. 7:45, fourth quarter just now underway.
Shiloh starts the fourth quarter out here in the 2-3 zone. They got to get their hands up and be very active. If not, Miller Grove's going to be able to either throw that over the top to Page, or they're going to be able to get that wide open three.
Anderson caromed off the rim, no good. Tip out of bounds, and will go over to Shiloh. That's another point, Coach. We saw Miller Grove come out with a 2-3 zone that was very active. Then they came with the press. So Coach Jester is changing up the defenses.
And once again, it's got Shiloh rattled.
So now the coach, the referee says we need a sub for Kinloch. Not sure why. So it will be Justin Spencer, 6-foot senior, who will come in. Looks for the inbound and now gets it to Kendall Lewis. Lewis carried the basketball, no call. Pass, knockdown, kickball. Stargell has been very active. Between Stargell and Anderson, and Coach, we know it's not an official stat. The assistants keep it, but the deflections have got to be up there now, 10, 11, 12.
Well, you know what? If you go back and you ever listen to Coach Patino talk about back in the day some of your great defensive coaches, when I was with Coach Donovan in Florida, our goal was to get 35 deflections a game. And so, you know, right now, 12 or 13, because what that leads to is about 10 steals and about 20 free baskets or 20 free points.
The things that don't show up in the box score.
But they are rewarded.
Oh, yes, I know.
With on-team stats, definitely.
And I was telling someone else, deflections doesn't need to be a stat. There's a three from McLeod. He made up for it. Somebody closed the door on this end, and it makes up for that air ball. He's got 6.
He pulled up very confidently on that shot right there.
Indeed, 5-point game.
I did not see that in his arsenal.
Harvey spins it over now to Anderson. Anderson to a flashing Clark. Clark, one dribble, now over to Harvey in the corner. Miller Grove trying to be patient, but no one is flashing and moving to the corner. Here's Anderson. Anderson gonna drive, lost it, dumps it over his shoulder to Page, up and in, Kevin Page.
You get that ball into the paint, I don't care if you're Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Tom Izzo, everybody's on help side defense or in helping recover mode right there.
I like Tom Thibodeau on a string defensively. I watched a lot of Tom Thibodeau defenses for 7 years, so I love it.
I can understand. The Bulls have never been the same since he left.
Oh, I know that. Coach, I watched him 60 times a night. That was my job. And I used to know Thibodeau's rotation. When you didn't play D, I know where you was finna go.
Well, the crowd's over here yelling at the refs, calling them 3 blind mice on that last call right there. Shiloh got the ball.
There's the jumper, short by King. King pulled the trigger on that one, short. Stargell picks it up. They've got numbers 3 on 2. Stargell over to Anderson. Anderson layup, no. Tip was by McLeod. Lewis comes away with it now out to Elias King. King lost it, and now it's going to be picked up by Page. Page to Stargell. Stargell going to go all the way, challenge Lewis. No, and a foul on Kendall Lewis.
See, I would love to see him give that one up. He has a 3-on-1 fast break. You got to do something with it. Got to get rid of that.
I understand. I think, to be honest with you, this game is so up and down right now. There's a couple different instances right there. The whistle could have been blown, but the game's moving so fast because you got 2 really quick-paced teams.
Or at least use the left hand when he goes up.
Basketball 1.
Stargell at the free throw line. It's good.
That looked like that hip may have been a little love tap from his days when he used to be over at Shiloh.
I know that's right.
You got to earn them the hard way.
Pretty much.
I got 5 of them, Coach.
Got to use them, too. 46-44. No good. He split them. McLeod got the rebound and protects it. And now has to put it on the floor. Stargell getting a little push from Spencer. This is true. It's Justin Spencer.
Nice pass.
King in the corner. Kaboom.
Once again, nice little penetrating kick right there. It's getting a little bit chippy. Getting a little bit chippy. I like it.
King makes you pay out of that corner. That's about his 3rd 3 out of the corner.
Yes. As well as up top.
In the corner, Stargell, a 3. No, off the hill of the rim. Rebound is going to come down to Elias King. King now gives it over to Spencer. 49-44. Lane has it. Lane drives into the corner. Nothing there. Spencer now will peel it back out. 4.5 to go. McLeod had it knocked away. Here's a steal. Anderson on the break. 1-2. Dunked it home.
I'm telling you, you got to look for King right there on that 3-point line instead of putting it on the floor.
Especially over here in this corner. Because that's where he's got 2 threes in this half, both of them from that left corner.
One of the things that we look at as college coaches when we're sitting in the stands, there's a variety of different things. Basketball 0-0-1. You got to come meet the pass. Guys are waiting for the ball to get to them, especially the way Miller Grove's been overplaying passing lanes all night. You could get a team foul and get to the free throw line if nothing else.
And we have not seen that adjustment since you mentioned it back in the first half, Coach. Lewis recovers, layup good. Stargell going to kick it to the corner. Harvey, a 3, no. Tip, rebound was going to come down to King. He outlets it down to Spencer. Spencer had it knocked away. Harvey did not give up on it. Harvey now going to come through, using speed to get into the middle. Swings it to the corner to Stargell, goes baseline, up, shot, no. A blocking foul call. It was a little late, but the foul was called, and it'll be on McLeod. McLeod gets up with a sheepish smile.
I'm just glad I'm sitting down right now. But once again, that's a great opportunity to pull up for a short J. But once again, Miller Grove is getting rewarded very plainly and simply, fellas. They're playing harder on the defensive end, and their defense is allowing them to attack offensively and get into the paint and get to the free throw line.
It's allowing them to stay in the game. You keep looking up, though, they're down. But Stargell at the free throw line, he knocked that one in. He has 8 in the contest.
And it makes me wonder, is it great defensive play for Miller Grove, or is it just lazy play from Shiloh? Because it's been just a couple of lazy passes that I've seen come out of the Shiloh side.
It's a combination of both, but once again, if you do a great job of faking a pass and make a pass, and you very simply come back and meet the ball, once again, it can lead to some great opportunities down on the other end for Shiloh.
The Atlanta Tip-Off Club annually recognizes the top high school and college players, coaches, officials, and administrators in Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia. Join the ATOC, nominate players and coaches, or learn more at atltipoffclub.com. Joel Hillsman, Lewis Preston, Sylvester Williams here with you. The 9th annual Jared Cook Classic. It is Miller Grove. It is Shiloh. The nightcap, it'll be the Cedar Shoals Jaguars and the Wheeler Wildcats.
You know, speaking of Cedar Shoals and Wheeler, I just saw Wheeler go back to the locker room. For those of you guys listening and watching, I hope you stick around because we're going to have a little bit of trivia. A chance to win some Atlanta Hawks tickets. Chance to win a pair of Atlanta Hawks tickets brought to you by the Atlanta Tip-Off Club. All you have to do is stick around. We're going to give you a trivia question during the next game, and you can check out and see if you can win some Atlanta Hawks tickets.
This has been very interesting with how Coach Chester has changed defenses throughout the course of the third quarter by, kind of mix it up, gotten it a little dirty, a little grimy, and I mean that in a good way. Unlike, Thanksgiving dinner dishes. But the most important thing here is to see how Shiloh is going to be able in the fourth quarter to get King the ball in a variety of different areas, to let him get some baskets, opportunities to baskets, and get some other guys shots as well.
51-48 as play resumes, 3:40 to go. Lewis Preston, Sylvester Williams. I'm Joel Hillsman. Spencer goes around the McLeod screen. He has it now between the rings. Over to the left side now. And here's Kendall Lewis. Lewis back over to Spencer. Spencer now worked on by Stargell. Stargell moving his feet very well there defensively. Now down the left of the lane. Stop. Spencer back out to McLeod. Pump fake. Put it on the floor. Spencer ran right to the spot where McLeod was trying to go. Around the screen. Not there. Pass was late. Lewis up and in.
Lewis has been around that ball underneath the basket a lot here in the third and the fourth quarter.
3 minutes to go in a 5-point game. Clark spinning, shot up and in. Good, a good move by Jermon Clark.
As a former big man, it does my heart good to see that move right there.
And he was decisive.
Made it with authority.
Spencer holding it. Justin Spencer, the 6-foot senior, puts it on the floor now between the rings. Now he kicks it over to the right side to Elias King. King worked on by Anderson. Anderson now moving, and a weak foul call there.
I don't like that. Oh, that
I didn't like it either. You and I had the same sight line. He just getting up here and close on him.
That's good defense.
I know y'all were talking about mom screaming for 32 minutes. I hear some daddies.
And, Coach, I still think that's an interesting matchup, though. Anderson yielding the height to King, but he's still matching him.
Personally, if I was King, I'd go right down to the low block and see if I can get some fouls or get some L1s.
Spencer shot, no good. Lewis around the basket again, kicks it back out to Spencer. Spencer lost it out of bounds. Turnover for Shiloh, and they still have a 3-point lead.
And see, I think that's a part of King's game that he has to work on. He's deadly on the perimeter, but he's kind of a little bit lightweight down there. And see, I don't know if he can actually go down to the block and work.
He's eyeing up Anderson, though, as they walk down the floor.
Once again, if you're gonna play at the next level, you got to be able to score at 3 levels, especially with his talent.
Yes, sir.
To Stargell in the corner to Harvey. Harvey puts it on the floor. Now Harvey comes back out. He'll work it around with 2:12 to go. Miller Grove, they're still behind, although it feels like they've really had a solid second half. They outscored Shiloh 18-13 in the third quarter. Anderson floating, couldn't get it to fall. Page tip, no. Clark tip, no. Page grabbed it. That's what I'm talking about, big boy. It just didn't go in there, tipped out of bounds, stay Miller Grove ball.
I can't fault the effort on that.
Oh,
I cannot fault the effort at all. Actually, to be honest with you, that play right there should have been rewarded with the basket, with the hustle, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. You got to move on to the next play.
So far, 9-8, Miller Grove outscoring them. Page cannot get the bunnies to go. Fight for it again. Up, cannot get it to go again. It's kicked back out. Anderson up shot, a traveling violation. Anderson, watch it. Watch the reaction. Watch the reaction. Now, Page, man, with those bunnies, that's 3 or 4 missed shots there.
Yeah.
I like the effort, though, and as you say, Coach, a big man that expends that amount of effort, you gotta want that one.
You want him to finish that one badly. I didn't understand the travel call because it was his own guy. I thought he actually got it up before he came back down on the floor. So we'll have to go back with Mr. Burnett and look at that on the replay.
I'm a firm believer. It's that little square on the backboard. It's there for a reason. Somebody has to use it.
Kinloch back into the contest, gets it up ahead to Lewis. Lewis gonna go to the hole! A facial! Kendall Lewis! Boom!
Throw it down, young man.
55-50. Miller Grove now gonna have to make a push. The Shiloh crowd, that was personal.
He got up there on that one. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Timeout called by Rashul Chester.
Show the replay on that.
Give me my postal machine. Oh, man, Kendall Lewis from Kinloch.
But once again, Joel, it started because they got somebody in the middle of the pressure, and they were able to get 3-on-2 situation, and Lewis sprung up there with the bunnies.
5-point game, 55-50. Miller Grove been playing from behind, and as I mentioned again, they have had most of the momentum here in the second half. But that second quarter is what did them in. And, Coach, you know it can only take one bad quarter. They were outscored 17-10 in the second quarter.
And once again, for as much as we've said different things about Shiloh not handling different things well, the pressure, the changing defenses, when you have somebody of Elias King's caliber, once again, it only takes that one special player in high school that can keep you that 2 to 3 possession distance that, just like we've seen, not only throughout the course here at Jared Cook, but also at other tournaments as well.
Speaking of Elias King, he has 18 in the contest. That is a team high 18. And it might be a game high 18. Kevin Page has 6, 8, 10, 12. Lorenzo Anderson has 8, 11, 14. And Stargell has 9. So, yeah, Elias King with a game high 18 so far.
Once again, I'm curious to see what Coach Chester comes out here with. He has ran some great stuff on sideline and baseline out of bounds. See it.
Official timeout now, and he has given a warning to Coach Kim Rivers. Miller Grove and Shiloh, the final 74 seconds. Stargell to Anderson. Anderson to Stargell. They go to zone. I guess they want to see if they can shoot it. Stargell, a bad shot. Tip, fight for it. Harvey's going to chase it down. Harvey stepped on a mid-court stripe for backcourt. Turnover. Coach Chester did not draw that up.
He did not draw that up. Once again, I thought Stargell, it looked like they had the ball screen, back screen action right there versus the zone for a lob over the top, but he took that tough shot instead.
Tenary Lane will inbound and gives it over to Elias King. 1 minute, fourth quarter to go. Picked up by Anderson. Clark came with the trap. If he'd been a split second early, he has a steal. 55, 50, 50 seconds. Ball knocked away. Anderson, no fear from King. And now keep away mode has gone into effect. And there's the foul. Coach Chester wanted to give the foul.
Once again, right there, one of the things in looking at Elias King right there, did a great job of handling the ball. He's going to have to learn how to get down in a lower triple threat position versus pressure right there and to be able to see the court, because if he would have been in that true triple threat, he could have hit his player down in the corner for a wide open drive to the basket.
Big free throws, though, here, Coach. 1 and 1, 42 and 1, 10 seconds for Justin Spencer, a 6-foot senior, yet to get in the scorebook, but now big moment here now to try and put some distance out there. Free throw. Back iron, no. Clark gets the rebound. Miller Grove with some form of life and a turnover. 38 and 9, 10 seconds.
That's a tough pill to swallow right there.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Had possession, your own teammate kicked it. Move on to the next play.
Into the backcourt to Lane, and Lane is fouled by Clark. It is still the 1 and 1, though. Team foul number 8, so the 1-and-1 now. Taneri Lane, he's been quiet today with only 4 points.
It's a great opportunity right here to extend the lead and put even more pressure on Miller Grove to go on the other end and have to score.
Lane goes through his free throw routine, puts it up. Short! Front end of the 1-and-1 missed twice now, back-to-back. Miller Grove still with some form of life. They've got to go quickly, though. 30 seconds. Harvey goes baseline, not there. Page put it on the floor off the window and scores. And a quick timeout. 55-52, 24 and 8-10 seconds.
I still don't like that dribble down there like that.
And a lot of that comes from, Sly, a lot of that very plainly and simply comes from not being comfortable, right, with where you are and knowing your position down on the floor. Because anytime you have 2 feet in the paint, you should not have to put the ball on the floor. It should go right up.
Right up. Straight up. And, you know, and that comes down to a lot of that, too. You said being comfortable.
Technical fouls, double technical, 1 on Maurice Harvey, and a technical foul on Shiloh's number 11, Taneri Lane. It's double technicals.
I guess it was a little bit of extracurricular activity.
They were talking at the sideline. That'll be the 4th personal foul on Harvey, and the technical counts as a personal, and that'll be the 2nd personal foul for Taneri Lane. No free throws on a double tech. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
No, that's okay.
But, yeah, I think one of that comes down to those explosive drills, what we used to call boxes, where you used to have to jump onto the boxes. I don't know the fancy word, plyometrics or something. That might be the fancy word for it.
Plyometrics.
Plyometrics. But it's just jumping up and down, just plain two-footed, jumping straight up into the air. And if you have that explosiveness in you, you can hit that little easy basket from 2 feet away from the basket without putting it on the ground.
Well, you know what? I was a little too plyometric was past my day of playing. That to me was a good old-fashioned extra drill, just down there on the in the 2 short corners and in the middle of the basket.
I'm with that. I remember that. 55-52. Lewis quickly gets it up ahead. Here's Lane. Lane over to Lewis, and he was fouled by Tim Starr.
That's a great job right there by Shiloh, handling that pressure right there. It's probably the 2nd or 3rd time tonight that they've been comfortable versus Miller Grove's pressure.
Big free throws here, though, out of the 1-and-1. 2 shots now and a 3-point game. So big free throws for Lewis. Good on the first. Kendall Lewis, a savvy and sound 4th quarter. He has 7 in the quarter.
He's been around that ball a lot tonight.
8 in the quarter, 11 and a half, 13 in the game. Quickly, Miller Grove back this way with Harvey. Bad pass. It was tipped by Spencer. No, it was tipped by Stargell and a turnover. 10 and 10 seconds to go in a 5-point contest. The 2nd quarter going to be the undoing here for Miller Grove, being outscored 17-10 because they clearly played very well in the 3rd and 4th quarter, minus some of the things that we pointed out. King looks, now gets it in to Spencer. Stargell reaches in and gives him the foul. And that'll be his 4th. We'll come back and shoot more free throws, team's 11.
It's really been interesting. We go back and we talk about that 2nd quarter, but I'll say this. Miller Grove has had opportunities to take the lead at various points in time. Wasn't able to knock down that 1 shot or 2 shots, but between Lewis and what he's done in the 4th quarter and then Elias King being able to extend on a couple of his shots, it's what's kept Shiloh, as I like to say, it's kept them at bay to where Miller Grove couldn't catch them here tonight.
Justin Spencer, his 1st point on the free throw. 2nd when he's up, no good. Rebound comes down to Page. It's a 6-point game. Quickly comes Harvey. Harvey stops, pulls a long 3. It's good. It's window dressing. Maurice Harvey, a 3-ball. He's going to have 12 points. There's a timeout now with 1 and 2/10 seconds, a teaching timeout.
I guess you do have a punch of shanks.
You do. You need a lot of stuff to happen in 1 and 2/10 seconds. You need a foul, you need 2 missed free throws, and you need a heave.
Or just a steal in the shot.
Well, once again, if you put somebody over the ball, you never know what can happen. But in 1.2 seconds, depending on who's handling the clock over there, can you get a deflection, get it back out, and get a shot off in time?
With basketball and all of your fall, winter, and spring sports in full swing, many young athletes are suffering from pain caused by overuse injuries. The sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta works with young athletes on proper sports mechanics and can analyze their motion to help avoid problems in the future. Visit choa.org/sportsmen to learn more. Also, mark your calendar for the inaugural Atlanta Hawks Naismith Holiday Classic on December 21st through 23rd at Norcross High School. Visit hawksnaismithclassic.com for more information. 1 2/10 seconds, 58-52. Shiloh with a, 58-55. Shiloh with a 3-point lead, 1 2/10 seconds left as we get ready for the nightcap, the Wheeler Wildcats and the Cedar Shoals Jaguars. The nightcap here, gonna be a fun one, but this one is not over, and this one has been quite thrilling as well. King, the baseline into Lewis, no foul given, and that will be the end of the ball game. And Shiloh, in a personal matchup in Northern Gwinnett, they win this one 58-55 over the Miller Grove Wolverines.
I'll say this is a great comeback win for Shiloh after the way they played on Saturday versus Sandy Creek. I tip my hat to Coach Rivers because there was a couple times I thought they could have faltered right there, but they kept their poise throughout the course of the game. And then when you have a player of the caliber of an Elias King, once again, he can knock down that shot that keeps you on that winner's side there.
Elias King finished with 18 points in the contest. Darius Garcia, he finishes with 8 for Shiloh, and then Kendall Lewis with the big booming dunk, he finishes with 13, 8 of them in the fourth quarter. Shamari McLeod finishes with 6 for Miller Grove. Tim Stargell, he turned it on. He had 9, all of them in the second half. Maurice Harvey had 12. Kevin Page, 14 points for Miller Grove. And Jermaine Clark, he finishes with 6 and 12 boards for Kevin Page. So a double-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds in a losing effort. All right, the clock is restarted. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back on SUV TV, the Cedar Shoals Jaguars, the Wheeler Wildcats in a nightcap for the 9th annual Jared Cook Classic. The